him for saying that because and so what I want to say to that for those who are listening is that we live in a society where we don't always make it easy for men to disclose. I do not believe that it is because men do not want to disclose or that men don't have anything to say. I personally believe that men have a lot to say and that they want to disclose, but as a society and as a sub society, meaning within our community, sometimes we have not made it easy for men to disclose or to share or to communicate. And so that's why I particularly love this idea about the panel and what we're doing because we're having those necessary conversations that need to be had so that we can begin to build safe spaces so that we can say, hey, I'm not okay because it's okay to not be okay. So that's my perspective so far.
Thank you so much. I also want to thank Latanya, Jasmine, Dee Dee, and Jasmine Coleman, and Aliza for participating and coming and listening to our journey. And this is our journey. We're going to work together to recognize our inner strength through self awareness, to process emotional challenges with mindfulness and reflection. We're going to build real, lasting resilience, something that can last us. Cultivate compassion for ourselves, even in our hardest moments. And we're going to grow, not perfectly, but intentionally. So let's begin at the very beginning with you. As you reflect on your past experiences and personal growth, as outlined on page 14, what stands out most in your journey so far? Take a moment and ask yourself, what brought you here? Was it pain, survival, the hope for something different, or something more? If you haven't already, write a short note to yourself. Be honest, be gentle, let it be messy if it needs to be. This note will serve as your anchor throughout the next 6 months. So, what brought you here to this panel, to this discussion?
So I'll start. So for me, and I'm just going to read my response if that's okay. Um,
Yes,
so
it's fine.
in my need to always be strong, I've always held it together for everyone else, children, family, community, even when I was breaking inside. The crack whispered, "Who holds me while I'm holding everybody else together?" So in my self-sacrifice, giving so much of myself to others, there was crack in my own self-care, my identity beyond what I do for others. The question became, where do I exist just for me?
Mhm.
These cracks don't define my weakness, they define my depth. They are not things to be ashamed of, but
Mhm.
places where I'm being stretched, growing, and learning to be whole. So just kind of piggyback, and I've always been that go-to person, and as I said before, my passion is to uplift and inspire, but at the same time, and even those strong people need that support as well. And I realize how much I am the go-to person, which I love that because that's my passion, but at the same time, I lack my own self-care. So what I have done recently is, for one, just be able to identify that, like Dr. Stevens mentioned, and I really had to break down, what does self-care look like for me? What does that look like for me? Because I know some people may consider a self day as a spa day. I realize for me, it's quiet time for me. It's the quiet time that helps me reset, that gives me that peace. So me being here is just learning how to have that self care in the process of also still being strong, not only for myself but for those around me.
Thank you so much for sharing. We have Latanya who said, that's my situation as well. I'm everything for everyone except myself. We want you to give yourself time. And one of the things that I've done for myself was I parented myself. And in doing so, I was able to realize that I was parented by a beautiful person, but for me, I look at it now and I look back at myself as a child, and I have this huge picture in one of my rooms. And my family asked me, why don't I hang it on the wall? Because it should not be on the wall. That's a child. And I'm taking that child through a journey that I want to take her on, that I want to parent her through. You know, my mom did what she felt as though she needed to do by me and for me. But when I look in the eyes of myself, I see something that somebody else don't see. I see a sadness that was